this show started. If this is your first time here, my name's Glendon Cameron, your hustling godfather, the founder of Hustlers Kung Fu, where your real financial education begins. We firmly believe here that if you have any financial education that doesn't teach you how to make money and how to have a tax strategy, then that's really only teaching you half of the game. And we want to give you the full game, the full Monty. So, what we're going to talk about is how to make money in life and business due to the hustle factor. Now, what is the hustle factor? The hustle factor is this thing, this part of your personality that refuses to quit. And one of the things I see quite frequently online is people give up so quickly after one setback, after a couple of setbacks. They're like, I'm out of here. I'm not going to do this anymore. And I've looked at the things that I've done. Many of them have taken months of years to accomplish. And there's this book, The Ultimate Sales Machine by Chet Holmes. Let me show that to you. If you have a business, you should get this book. Because there's this thing he talks about that's called pig-headed determination. And it is it's pushing through adversity. That's what the hustler's factor, the hustler mindset, is about, pushing through adversity and not just accepting that it's not going to work out the way that you want it to work out. So go ahead and get The Ultimate Sales Machine by Chet Holmes. This book is good for any business owner. And one of the things that you should do and you should be aware of is the power of systems and processes in your business. This is key. This is a very important aspect of building your business and getting that Wi-Fi bread. One of the things that's very interesting is it's the summer and many people have checked out, because it's very interesting what happens during the winter when people are stuck in their offices, can't go outside, can't go to the beach. They watch YouTube videos. But during the summer, you got a lot of people who are taking time off, who are cutting back, who are not getting this education because they want to have fun. Having fun has its place in life, but you're going to have more fun and you're going to enjoy your fun and have more satisfaction once you accomplish some of your goals. That is a huge, huge part of this. Like, the hustle factor is the never give in, never die, never quit. Stick with it if it's worth sticking with. And we'll talk about how to know if you have a viable business model. Because essentially, let's just go through that real quick. Let's say you're making cookies and you hit up all of your friends and all your friends buy those cookies. And then after the first round, you have people's like, hey, can I get some more cookies? That's a viable business concern. So what you need to do, because you had proof of concept, you had proof that selling the cookies worked well. So one of the things that, and this is something a lot of entrepreneurs need to do, is get your first dollar before you get your first million. Everybody's like, CEO, $1 million. $1 million is a lot of money. It's a bunch of money. And you need to make your first dollar first before you get to your $1 million, which means you need to focus on the business basics. You need to focus on the things that, generate profit. Like the video this morning, the art of profit. Many people start what I like to term struggle businesses. They get it up. And once again, congratulations to you for starting your business, because you've done more than most people. You've executed, you shaped it up, you got it started. So now you got to get the proper mindset. Now you got to set it up where your business makes a profit. And this is where you apply the hustle factor to your business model. Let me give you an example. One of the things I noticed on Craigslist and eBay, there were people who liked to buy queen size beds. If the price was cool, good enough, they'd buy it. And, at one point, because the shipping got messed up, I drove all the way to Dallas, Texas to drop off 2 beds. So, it was, we didn't make any money on that deal, but the customers were handled and the customers left positive feedback, which kept it going. Because I started to, apply the hustle factor to this. And I realized Commander Cost Gaming, you funny. Why don't you come back and rewatch the replay? Why don't you do that? So during this hustle factor, I determined that Craigslist was a better place to sell the beds because, first of all, I put the beds on eBay and they sold. They sold very well. I had a eBay ID that sold new furniture. And, once you got 25, 30, 40 feedback, people would drop $4, $5, $6, $7,000 for a bedroom set. So part of that is you got to hustle to bring in the hustle factor, because I put the beds on eBay, I put them on Craigslist, and I was running testing, because the beds were popping on Craigslist. And I essentially moved everything to Craigslist because shipping furniture is a tricky thing, because it has to go LTL, less than truck full. And then you have to do all of this prep work so the furniture isn't crushed. Essentially, you have to get a pallet, put all the furniture on the pallet, then take some 2x4s and some plywood and create what I call half a crate. Just wrap the bottom with plywood, and this typically seriously reduce the damage. And a big part of, because I will tell you a story I had where I lost my butt shipping furniture. I created this pallet deal, and this is before I learned to wrap this stuff in plywood. And the furniture arrived to the customer totally beat up, but everything was okay except for the rails to the bed, the most difficult part to replace. Because, you had your bedroom set, you had your nightstand, you had everything, but the rails to the bed, they were smashed to smithereens. That ended up costing me $4,500. So the next go round, using the hustle factor, the hustler's mindset, I created a better shipping container because, I've had some experience working in shipping warehouses. So I knew what went on. And sometimes you have somebody pushing a skid with the edge of the forklift. So by wrapping the furniture with these 2x4s, because I'll put 2x4 in each corner, and I'll put the big plywood sheets on the side and on the ends. And I didn't put a top on it because typically they don't really stack stuff on it when it's less than truck full. And after I started doing that, I didn't have the damage problems anymore. So it cost me $4,500 to figure out how to ship furniture. Just News, thanks for the $10 super chat. Appreciate you. Commander Cos Gaming, why don't you super chat? Stop, because this is one of the things that upsets me. We're here putting out serious information, and we got clowns who want to come in and play games versus sitting and taking the information in, and more importantly, applying the information. And that's directed at you, Commander Cos Gaming. Pay attention. Stop playing around. Cut the crap. So another thing that I learned from this was I had to price it and hide the shipping in the price. Because, once you got into adding shipping, people, it's a $4,500 bedroom set. You put $300-$400 shipping, people will not buy. They're like, nah, man. That shipping makes them question the whole purchase. It's like, because if shipping was 10% of the total price, that was too much for most people. They're nice. Thanks for the $5 super chat. What are you talking about? So another thing that happened was, applying the pig-headed determination, because this went on for a few months. Like we had the damage claim where it lost $4,500. Then, fortunately, I was moving furniture so quick that it didn't really hurt us. You lose $4,500. That sucks. But we had cash flow because of the hustle factor. Because at that time, we were selling furniture on Craigslist, which was one source of stream of income. We were selling used furniture on Craigslist, was another source of income. We were selling stuff on eBay, which was another source of income. We were selling stuff on Amazon, which was another source of income. The upscale garage sale. So at the time, we had 5 sources of income, 5 streams of income, which enabled me to absorb that $4,500 loss pretty quickly. What's up, Latoya Jenkins? Thank you. It's hard to focus on the side business while working overtime. This is where the hustle factor comes in. Because let's just keep it a buck, as we say on these internet streets. You got a full-time job, and then you go in and you devote your full-time hours. Then you got to come home and do something else. That's very, very hard. And this is where you've got to get the hustler's mindset. This is where you have got to be mentally strong. Because, starting businesses, it ain't for sissies. Hustling ain't for sissies. You're going to have to be a strong and determined person to push through all of this, the blockage, the hiccups, the things that get in your way. Like, because I spent 8 months selling furniture on eBay and Craigslist. And when I finally got it together, I was putting the best pieces on Craigslist because, we had trucks. So delivery was super economical. And, the shipping. This is another part of the shipping. Like when you're shipping furniture, they're going to ask you if they're picking up the furniture at dock height or they're dropping it off at a dock. So if this going to a residential customer, they're going to need a truck with a lift, which was an additional charge for that truck. It was like $95, $110. So there was all this testing that was going on. And what I had to do was put 3 times as much furniture on Craigslist as I did with eBay to make the same money. Because eBay, back in the day, eBay was a license to print money, just print money. You can put anything up there. You can sell virtually anything. Black Caesar, Coach G, it appears that breaking the mold of starting a business is becoming more difficult every day for some apparent reason. Uh, I don't think that is true. I think the expectations of the people are out of proportion to what it takes to start a business. Because once you break through that, because the thing, starting businesses are hard. And many people have these false assumptions that, starting a business should be something you can do in the weekend, something that should shape itself up. It should be easy. If it ain't easy, it ain't worth doing. So I think today it is probably easier than ever to start a business. Now, certain business models are very competitive. Like everybody is running towards online. Like it used to be, selling t-shirts was a lucrative business. Now everybody's got the t-shirt print in their basement, their garage. So you just got way more competition. So I don't think, that the difficulty of starting a business has increased. I think the expectations of people has grown out of proportion to the actual difficulty of starting a business. Because, I'm walking you through things that I have done. And, we were making money from storage auction business. And I wanted more money. And that's why I started, trying to sell new furniture. And that was, one of the things that would happen because I used to run Rogue. I had Titan importers, coasters, pound decks, and some other stuff that sold similar furniture because one of the things I would do was post furniture I did not have in inventory. And that was risky. That was very, very risky because people always wanted the stuff that was out of stock. And you only had so long to tone these people up because, I became very persuasive in talking to people, never got any negative feedback. And, one time it took 4 weeks to get the furniture in, then another week to ship it to the customer. Christian Emerson, what's up? Thanks for the $9 super chat, the $10 super chat. That's a very difficult question, how to price my services. I would need to know what you're doing, what the market rate is. There's a lot of stuff. So what you need to do is go to the Google machine and Google everybody that's doing what you're doing. Get on the phone, make some phone calls, and try to see what the industry rate is. So thanks for the $10 super chat. Wolflow, is it really worth doing stickers and t-shirts? If you have a snazzy brand, yes. Just to do stickers, t-shirts and stickers, no. Jonathan Phillips, Uncle G, I played your videos about stop being a whiny bitch and win. The barbershop, I damn near gonna get shot. People don't want to hear the truth. People don't want to accept the truth that you're gonna have to man up, woman up, and apply yourself. Because everybody thinks that, because Shaggy 666 has got a slamming YouTube channel and he makes like $1 million a year, that it should be easy. But you don't know that Shaggy 666 has some unique characteristics. But yeah, Jonathan Phillips. Uh, I have this strange thing where people really, really like me, or they really, really don't, because I have the ability to trigger people. Because, like, we keep it a buck here. The views are going down because it's summertime, because people rather play and be entertained than to make money. Let me tell you the story of a friend of mine. Well, he used to be a friend, because I stopped hanging around people who didn't have what I consider to be the appropriate goal set. This guy worked very hard. He got like $4,000 in 2 weeks, and he took a trip where he blew the whole 4 grand. He was working for this trip. He wasn't working for the future. He were working to build assets. He was just, and he would do this over and over again. Like, hey, I'm going to Vegas. He worked real hard, then go to Vegas and blow all the money. And I said, man, you need to save some of that cash. He said, nah, man, YOLO, YOLO. You only live once. You only live once. And I wonder where he is today with that methodology. Black men at barbershops mad as hell, but the manager was cool with it, but gave me that look. Man, Jonathan. See, there is a group on Facebook that I'm planning my exit, because there's this proliferation of the weak, mindset. Someone posted something that I knew to not be true. I'm a tall man, and it has been a great benefit in my life. And it was just like that black men don't get the same benefits as tall white men. And I called BS on that. And we got into an argument where, he kind of took some hits. And I was like, this conversation ain't going to make me any money. So I opted out the conversation. And after the smoke dies down, I'm going to leave the group, because one of the things that is a problem is many people have scarcity, failure, and weak mindsets. Because as far as I'm concerned, there's racism out there, but it won't stop me. Racism has never stopped me from getting my money. Racism hasn't stopped me from doing anything. So this is where I differ, because, and also a lot of those men in that barbershop have never experienced real success or any level of power or any level of economics. So they feel that it is impossible. And, they feel that racism, we're going to get our reparations and stuff. That's all cool and good. But, what about now? What are you doing now to further your life? What are you doing now to make money? All right, Quentin Jackson. Yeah, because you're going to need these skill sets, because the hustle factor is what's going to keep you on point, what's going to keep you on the course of getting this Wi-Fi bread. Because, once again, I'm telling you, we're getting ready to do a lot of training. Jonathan, I just want to promote with brothers, have them to want to win and stop being at the barbershop noon with no job. LaDolian Jenkins. Amen. Racism does stop you from taking on my responsibilities. It really doesn't. It doesn't matter if what Trump does or says. Trump is not going to stop my money. And part of that mindset, like the people who were leaving America because Trump got elected, I don't know why you wasting your breath. Where are you going to go? Where are you going to move to that is good as living in the United States? Where's this mythical place going to be? So part of this hustle factor is rooted in a very strong mindset. It is rooted in action and activity. And, to Jonathan Phillips' part, if you sit around and complain all day, how does that change your life? I understand, people vent. You may have a moment where you need to vent, get some stuff off your chest. That's a moment. Some people have turned complaining into a lifestyle. And that's what's going on with this group. James Lewis, thanks for the dollar super chat. So, how does one activate the hustle factor? You cut, and this is from Keeter, you cut the excuses. You stop making excuses why you can't do X, Y, and Z. Because even if you want to start an engineering firm and you're an engineer, you don't have the money to start the firm, I guarantee you there are things you can do to move you forward to starting that firm. Like, I got a 10-year plan. Here's some stuff I'm working on. And one of the things that, because it's such a big goal, I'm not in scope of, getting to what I want to do. So I have to break it up into smaller chunks. And there's a lot of stuff, research, setting up the LLCs. I can do that. And this is where barbershop is best free word to mouth promotion. If you're selling the right thing, because I know when I had hair many, many years ago, and I used to get my hair cut, there was this guy that would come in, he would sell watches. And he had a nice little hustle. He'd sell you 2 watches for $25. And I found out that he was getting these watches for $5. So, $25. He made $15. John Phillips, I hustled in school selling chips, tried to establish a team, but we didn't see eye to eye. Active partnerships is hard. When you bring on a partner, you need to bring on someone who's not a mirror, but you need to bring on someone who does have the hustle factor, because there are some people who want to be partners. They would be better hired as employees, because I guarantee you try to sell it like, you sell more, you get, you get a cut. And typically this works better with most people. If you do X amount of activity, you get this. Most folks have an employee mindset when it comes to doing stuff. Many people are all about, when I finish working, when do I get paid? And see, this is one of the things where the hustle factor is so important to mentally push through this. Benny Crane, stop asking for permission. You want to sell cars? You sell cars. There's somebody right now who's making $1 million a year selling cars. Everything sells, because, when people ask me questions, what do you think about selling cars? You're like, hey, is it too late? Can I get in there? Can I make this easy? Wi-Fi bread. And, I don't mean to beat you up, but stop asking for permission. Take it upon yourself to do the work, because you need to be watching all of the car channels. You need to be on Google. I watched a video where a guy said he made more money selling cheap cars. However, the cheap cars had a higher hassle factor than the new cars. Thank you, James Lewis. Yep, percentage based. See, when you're talking to average humans, all they hear is, I'm going to work, but I may not get paid. So you should hire them as an employees that, you sell X amount of chips. You can't do the percentage basis. People like look at that as working for free. People need a defined salary. And I had a friend who had to break that down to me, because, everybody doesn't do well with commission. All right, James Lure, I look forward to live H under. Going on to that, let me tell you a little funny story. I had a Hustlers Kung Fu Facebook group on my other page, and Facebook made it disappear like a disappearing ship. It disappeared, it came back, it disappeared, it came back. I'm going to start a new Hustlers Kung Fu group on my new Facebook page, and I'm going to make it open to everybody. But we're getting ready to do a lot of different stuff. I was young. I was 15 years old learning about capitalism. Yeah, because essentially when you're a hustle and like looks like people who do drugs, everybody that does work gets paid. They don't get a percentage. Only the guys at the top. 21 year olds winning on Facebook ads and Instagram ads with Google SEO ranking like printed money. Yeah, once you become good, because I'm getting, if you notice, I'm doing these commercials. I'm moving into this situation where I'm going to start running a lot of commercials. This is one of the reasons I have this setup, because I'm in my dining room. And this is why I got this nice setup. I got the lights and stuff because, the background makes a difference. You got these guys who are talking about making 10, 20, $30,000. You can tell they're in a small room in their apartment. It's funny. So one of the things that we need to do to get this Wi-Fi bread is double down on hustleology. You need to be relentless and ruthless with your hustle, because I was on the phone with people. I had a week where I did $20,000 on eBay, and everybody's that bought something that was out of stock. So I'm working with my suppliers, like, when is it going to come in? I need this one. I even paid for it before it got in there just to ensure that I would have first crack. Then I'm on the phone, sweet talking to customers. Hey, Mr. Customer, well, we've experienced some logistical problems, blah, blah, blah. And I got it done. Melvin and Glendon, I was wondering, how do you acquire the furniture source you mentioned in prior videos? I had a business. I had a LLC. I had a resale number. I was in business. It was simple. Once you get the credentials, you could walk in and sign up for anything. I want percentage 100% of the time. Yeah, because we're going to be doing more commercials, and these are long form commercials. And I haven't cracked the code on short commercials just yet. Yeah, be careful with American Express. They're very unforgiving when you start being late. So essentially, the hustle factor, because one of the things, a company that I work for had access to the apparel mart or the merchandise mart, where you can go down and order brand new stuff at wholesale. And I just went in there with my business card and signed right up. So that's how I got into the apparel mart. I used to take chicks on dates to the apparel mart, because there's the apparel mart where they have all these lovely stuff, jewelry, real gold, real silver. That's where, and this is something else I used to do. I used to buy gold and silver and sell it on eBay, because I would look for distinct pieces and I would be able to sell it. But once again, I was a risky guy. I was employing the hustle factor, that I would take a picture of it in the showroom and would not buy it and be hoping and praying that it would be there if it sells. Because this was a way for me to dramatically scale up my listings and not increase my cost. How many of y'all remember Invicta watches? The Invicta Lupa, the Invicta Dragon. This was a hot watch in the 2000s, and I found me three sources, and I would just post them on eBay, sell them, and then go down the list. Do you have this watch? Do you have this watch? Do you have this watch? Oh, cool. And at the time, they were bumping so hard that I could always find someone who had to watch. Now, the price was always different because my best price was from the guy that I had formed a relationship with after I sold him some estate jewelry. And, we got super tight after that. But, to do the hustle factor, you got to be devoted. You got to have a never quit attitude. You got to be on your P's and Q's. Because one of the things that is so elegant about hustle is you control that. There are many things in life you cannot control, but you control your hustle. You control all of the things that you're doing because it's a lever. It's like, okay, I'm going to go out here and hustle my face off. No one's going to outwork me. And this is the attitude that I developed. Like I used to own the page of Craigslist. Before they came up with the Craigslist account, you would post some on Craigslist. They would send you an email. So I would go ahead and post stuff all day and then bam, release 100 emails at once, literally owning a block of Craigslist, and it had high visibility. So the hustle factor, the hustler's mindset is sticking with stuff until you get the results that you want. And this is where many people start to fade. This is where many people just kind of lose it because success is not supposed to be easy, baby. See, that this is where a lot of people get it twisted, that success is supposed to be easy. Success is supposed to come. If it ain't coming easy, then there's something wrong. The reality is, if it's coming easy, that could be a trap. Like Bitcoin's under $10,000. And notice that the Bitcoin folks who are starting to come back, they've gotten quiet again. They have crawled back under their rocks. Because see, this is the thing, I'm going to say this. Starting a strong hustle or a side business is going to get you more money than Bitcoin ever will, unless you bought in way long time ago when it was less than $100, or, in some cases, I got my Bitcoin for like what, $1. I wish I had spent more back then. But once again, your hustle is something, your work ethic is something you can control, and you can tamp that up. Because if you notice, I've increased my work ethic here on YouTube to stem the tide of views, because during the summer, a lot of people check out. One video a day ain't getting it. So I just started putting up 2 videos a day, 5 days a week, a morning session and an evening session. This will count as the evening session. And it's very interesting how people want simple answers to complex solutions. I'm going to tell you what works. And working hard, being focused, being dedicated, being devoted to your hustle has worked for me. I know, Wolflow, a lot of people are caught up in the glitz and glamour of Bitcoin. And because it's fast money. So how many people here understand the hustle factor? Do you understand what the hustle factor, and do you understand that it's in your ability to control that? How many of you understand that? How many of you can get your arms wrapped around the hustle factor? Because the hustle factor is very important. Like right now, it's July 15th. No, it's July 16th. Kids are going to be going back to school in less than 4 weeks. This is the time to get it. because a lot of people are asleep. All right, James Lewis. Let me tell you how I used to do in the storage auction business, and it took me about 2 years to figure it out. During the summer, everyone's sales would go down. Therefore, they had less money to buy units. So you could proportionally get better units, better merchandise, cheaper during this phrase. And this is what led me to getting a warehouse and setting myself up to be in a position to consistently buy. And this strategy paid off because in the fall, stuff that it took me 2 to 3 months to acquire, I would sell it in 2 or 3 weeks, which will give me higher income to buy the higher price units. And this is one of the things about the hustle factor. A hustle factor, you never say I can't do it. The question is, how can I do this? That's the question. How can I do this? Not I can't do this, the certain words not in my vocabulary. I can't afford it. I can't. Those words are not in my vocabulary. That's the first time I've uttered those words in years just to tell you what's in my vocabulary. Because, finding that little wrinkle allowed us to be very profitable, and selling online before everyone else allowed me to compete at a high level early on. Because a lot of these folks weren't, if they knew about online, they had some guy sell for them. And I had my own eBay and Amazon operation. So, all right, Jesse Bolando, cool. Part of having this is it's a mental thing. It's having the right mindset to be a warrior. You look at this game as war, and you come in with your M16, you come in with your machete, you're gonna win. But if you come in with a bad mental, you're gonna lose. Like Red Pill and MGTOW men, they occupy a scarcity mindset. When once you go ahead, I got some videos on the influence frame about female nature. Y'all should check those out if you're interested. One of the things that is super critical to setting this up, how you go in with the right mindset. I remember this joke. I'm gonna see if I can tell it. There was these two salesmen, and they were both in Africa. And the guy calls back, "No one's wearing shoes. The market is horrible." And the other salesman's like, "No one's wearing shoes. Nothing but upside." How you see it. Because if I saw that $4,500 loss as like, whoa, we ain't doing this again, I kept doing it. I kept shipping. I kept selling stuff. I took the charge back. And, I had 5 sources of income, which helped me weather that storm very well. Good Lord. So a big part of this is understanding how much your mental plays a role. Because, a lot of people don't like to talk about personal development, getting your mental up, when it is so important to future success. It is so important to you having the life that you want, that you being the person. Because on my Facebook page, JB Hunt was started by a guy who couldn't read or write. Billion-dollar company started by a guy who couldn't read or write. They weathered all the ups and downs, and when he retired, he had $1 billion company. This guy couldn't read or write. He didn't let that stop him. What's up, Johnny Walden? And one of the things that you should do, if you're serious about success, you should join H Undergrad. Once again, it's a pathway to help you become more successful. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sell it to you like a car payment. You get to drive the car while you're making payments. So everything's already there, and you've got 2 options. You can get the basic H undergrad, or you can get the premium, and the premium is going to include live training. Tomorrow, I'm going to drop what's going to happen. We're going to do this once a month, and I'm going to give people time to get ready for it. So I won't just bring it on people, and then you can be ready. Yeah, I think JB Hunt is still, because I've heard a lot of things about them, but at one point they were the biggest trucking company in America. This was started by somebody who could not read or write. It took him 5 years to get his wife, 5 years to get this woman. And that should give you a testament to the personal character of JB Hunt. So, once again, you can go below and you can enroll in H undergrad, which is $99.99 for 20 months, or you can enroll in H undergrad premium, which is $200 per month for 30 months. So all that's below. Will help you get that hustler factor, because essentially what I'm getting ready to do is get on a content creation educational process from now until December. I'm not going to Vid Summit. I'm not going anywhere. Every day I'm going to work on creating training products to help you be successful. And stay tuned. All right. So with that, I'll see you guys later. Once again, you can get into H undergrad below. The courses are already there. They're done. You just can get in on the payment plan like a car. You drive your car while you're making payments on it. So the deal is that as you go through the curriculum, you should fit onto some side money where essentially these courses will become free because you're making money while you're paying for them. How cool is that? So with that, I'll see you guys later.